Hey guys. So, the last few days I've been calling out for speech language pathologists, audiologists, anybody belonging to the American Speech Language and Hearing Association to write them a letter expressing disagreement, concern for the position statement that they recently released with regard to our current events. And in case some of you are still searching for the words or maybe don't understand why there is a necessity for these letters to be sent, I'm just going to share the letter that I wrote to hopefully provide some support. So it says, Dear Board of Directors, your position statement is racist. And I'm going to explain to you why, but first I want to clarify something. You've received and will continue to receive many criticisms of the position statement that you've released this week. Some people have been criticizing the words that you chose, saying that you were unclear, maybe too wordy, too weak, or vague. But I think that's a cop-out, because I think you guys deserve way more credit than that. You see, I'm not going to tell an organization made up of some of the country's brightest and best SLPs and audiologists that they didn't communicate their ideas clearly, because you specialize in communication. You're experts at it. You literally teach others how to teach others how to communicate. And so the only conclusion that I can logically draw is that you said exactly what you meant. You see, the problem here is not the words that you chose. The problem is the meaning and the values and the beliefs behind those words. In your statement, you say, "We stand with those who stand against violence of any kind, especially recently racially motivated violence." And you highlight this quote on Twitter because it's the only part of your statement in which you actually mention racism. I mean, kind of, almost. You see, by saying this, you don't firmly position yourself against racism. You instead glide over the disease that is racism and instead discuss a symptom of it, racially motivated violence. You even make a point to title your statement using those exact words. And so I ask myself, do they really think that these people are out here in these streets every day protesting all across the country because of one isolated act of racially motivated violence? ASHA's mission statement includes empowering and supporting through advocating for members and those they serve. And yet, in this critical time of need, you refuse to name those members. Your statement is completely void of any reference to the disenfranchised Black community that is central to these current events. And so again, I ask myself, are they in denial? In denial about the 400 years of slavery and oppression and systematically racist institutions that have brought this country to this moment of reckoning? And you see, that's why your statement is racist. Because denial is the heartbeat of racism. You make no call to action. You make no reference to the oppressed Black people of America hurting minority members of our own ASHA community. You fail to take a stand against the very, very specific institutions perpetuating inequality, oppression, and violence against us, against me. You don't say Black Lives Matter, or we denounce racism in all its forms, or any of the other maxims floating around the internet that are so readily available at your disposal. Because that's not what you stand for. You're neutral. But there's no neutrality in this fight against racism. You can be a racist, or you can be an anti-racist. There's no neutrality. And so I hope you guys really maybe go back to the drawing board and think about what you're doing here. Which side of history do you want to be on? We're all waiting, and we're all watching, and we're all hoping that you do better.